Newport News in Review with Aaron Pritchett starts right now.
Hello, I'm Aaron Pritchett, and welcome to this edition of Newport News in Review for the month of June 2012. Well, it's finally here, a season we've all been waiting for. Well, okay, maybe not all of you, especially for the ones who don't enjoy the unbearable heat that it may bring. But sweaty or not, you have to admit there's just something special about summer, as it officially makes its presence known here in the city of Newport News and throughout Hampton Roads, offering up plenty of things to see, do, and experience. And when it comes to taking a step back in time and immersing yourself into the rich history that this area provides, well, Newport News definitely has a place for you. As we bring the show to you from the one and only historic Lee Hall Mansion, located at 163 Yorktown Road in the Lee Hall section of Newport News. It's not where you're going, but what you experience along the way, especially along a strip of roadway that has seen its fair share of history for centuries, and one that still today has the ability to whisk travelers from near and far back in time to a place that definitely tends to catch your eye and pique your curiosity. Maybe it's the wide-open rural lay of the land, or better yet, the glimpse of a lonely but impressive three-story brick house, better known as historic Lee Hall Mansion, that prominently sits on the hill. And truth be told, if the walls of this only remaining Italianate antebellum home left on the Virginia Peninsula could talk, you better believe it would have plenty to say, because it is deeply rooted in a history that takes us back to the mid-1800s. Warwick County, Virginia, a rural area that consisted of a small population of just over 1,500 people, and farming was a way of life. And although difficult to do because intensive tobacco farming had exhausted the land, one man by the name of Richard Decatur Lee excelled at it, thanks to the inheritance and purchase of vast amounts of land within the county and his use of crop rotation to grow everything from corn, wheat, and potatoes. As Richard Lee and his wife Martha continued to enjoy their successes with farming the land and their elite stature within the community, they soon set their sights on building a lavish three-story brick home between 1851 and 1859 on property they owned overlooking the Great Warwick Road. This home would become the only Italianate structure in Warwick County and help to further convey Lee's success as a wealthy planner and a well-respected citizen, not to mention the perfect place to begin their family. But all of their hopes and dreams of living peacefully in their new home was abruptly interrupted by the onslaught of the Civil War, forcing Lee and his family to flee towards Richmond, as Lee Hall Mansion became a Confederate headquarters to the likes of Major General John B. Magruder and General Joseph Eggleston Johnston during the Peninsula Campaign of 1862. Although the Confederate Army was successful in delaying the Union Army advances for 3 weeks, the peninsula eventually came under Union control, and by the end of the war, much of the physical evidence documenting the early history of Lee Hall Mansion was lost forever. Through the centuries, this historic home and its surroundings saw plenty of change that brought the C&O Railroad to town and the Lee Hall Train Depot, and change in the form of ownership, as this historic mansion changed hands 6 different times. Owners like William Henry Aspinwall, the great uncle of future President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, to Robert George Bickford, a well-to-do lawyer for the Newport News Shipyard and Dry Dock Company. And through it all, Lee Hall Mansion's character also went through some dramatic changes, from total disrepair to the vision of what it would eventually become. And that was all made possible by the city of Newport News, as they purchased the property in 1996, completely restoring the house to its antebellum appearance and breathing new life into the mansion and its surrounding property for visitors from near and far to enjoy for years to come, as a very popular and engaging historic site located right here in the city of Newport News. We are proud to feature historic Lee Hall Mansion and encourage you to take the time to discover for yourself the rich history that awaits. thanks to the incredible efforts of the Newport News Historic Services Division, as they strive to keep history alive, not only here at Lee Hall Mansion, but at several other historic sites located throughout the city for generations to come. Well, June has been another busy month, so let's take a look at what's been going on right here in the city of Newport News. Well, it's a great place to eat and even a better place when it comes to giving back to the community, as one very popular local corporate sub-restaurant sticks to its roots and donates some very important life-saving equipment to our very own Newport News Fire Department. Beauty abounds, and it's about to get even better, as one local garden blossoms with plenty of sights to see and new improvements that gives us all an incredible opportunity to stop and smell the roses. And it's something that hits us all hard in the wallet. And although there seems to be no significant relief in sight when it comes to rising gas prices, one local department is utilizing new technology to help its city vehicles go that extra mile here and around the city of Newport News. Well, they say it always gets worse before it gets better, and in most cases it usually does. But when you're talking about the rising cost of gas, well, I think we can all pretty much agree it's a pretty pointless statement. But then again, believe it or not, it could be much worse, especially when you consider filling up and maintaining the 1,500 vehicles and other specialized equipment that this city is responsible for in helping to deliver the highest quality services to you, the citizens. But Newport News Vehicle Services, located in the Operations Center in the Oyster Point section of Newport News, is well on their way to seeking out an innovative alternative option for a much more sustainable future.
Well, here at Vehicle Services, we're responsible for 1,500 fleet assets, which go out and provide service through the various city departments every day. We're responsible for maintaining those vehicles, keeping them up and running. We do it all from wheel loaders, fire trucks, ambulances, police cars, you name it. Our job here is to mainly minimize the cost of running that fleet, and a large part of it is fuel. Gasoline, we burn about 640,000 gallons of gasoline a year. So if you do the math times $3, it's almost $2 million worth of gasoline every year. It's very expensive, and anything we can do to reduce that is a benefit to the taxpayer, and that's what we're after. We've always been looking for alternative options anywhere we can go. We're constantly examining our business model, looking to improve the way we do things, and certainly if there's a better fuel source out there that we can go with, we're interested in pursuing that. Right now with propane, we had a grant opportunity come through, and even with grant dollars, we want to make sure that there's an economic benefit, and in this case there is. It's pretty clear. It's a simple system to install, set up, and get running, and it's using today's technology just with a different fuel source. So we're not reinventing the wheel, we're just burning something else instead of gasoline. So it worked well when we examined it, and it's certainly working well for us now. We're projected to save about $22,000 annually, and over the life of the vehicle, we expect to extend the engine life maybe 1 or 2 years as a result of a cleaner burning fuel. That benefits us in a number of ways. The asset cost is a big expense. That's the #1 fleet expense is depreciation. You buy a vehicle, the day you drive it off the lot, it's worth less. But it has a value. By purchasing an additional technological component that happens to be $5,800 in the case of this grant, we want to make sure that we can get the life we need to recoup that investment. And while we're operating it, it turns out each year we operate the vehicle, the net difference in lost value and fuel saved is positive in propane. And in the case of the Pren system that are on the 22 vehicles we've converted, we expect to save about $1,000 per year net on that system.
I'm very impressed with this propane technology. On the propane, I can usually drive 2 shifts, I would say, and that's being my car running on an average shift. The car's running pretty much the whole 8-hour shift. It's just like going to a regular gas pump and pumping gas. With all the vehicles that the city has, the more propane vehicles we have, I think the better off the city will be. There's no emissions, clean air, and the car runs better.
Okay, after the operator puts fuel in this vehicle, it goes through a vapor barrier, which any gases would escape through the bottom of the vehicle. And what you got back here is 2 15-gallon propane tanks that have been tested to withstand crashes or anything that might puncture them. They're pretty much puncture-proof. Okay, we've seen what's under the trunk. Now we'll look under the hood. The propane coming from the back is heated by the heater hoses. When the vehicle gets to operating temperature, it automatically switches over to propane, and that's controlled by this computer. It's attached to the vehicle's computer. It goes through these external injectors right here that are tapped into the intake, and the car is running on propane. Once again, until the tank gets down to 20%. Once it gets to 20%, it automatically switches over back to gas, where the injectors on the car are internal. They're in the engine, and you run on gas until you get fuel. As you can see how clean the system is, at the end of the life cycle of this vehicle, this system can be taken off and transferred to another vehicle. Yeah, pretty much everything kind of fell into place for us. We were able to get our cars upfitted. We were able to have a supplier with Philips Energy here that was basically came in one day, put the infrastructure in. It actually took us longer to get the electrical done than the infrastructure. And everything just fell into place. We were able to get our cars upfitted quick. We were able to train our officers and train our people to use the propane system on the fill system here, and they loved it. And we're everybody that has propane cars excited about it and can't believe the performance and the mileage they're getting with the extra propane tank on there.
It is exciting to be a part of something new and being a part of change. A lot of city folks are active in trying to look at the ways they do things to come up with a better alternative. Sometimes people might think we're not, but my favorite thing is when somebody says that's the way we've always done it, because there's a darn good chance we can do it better. But in this case, changing fuel from gasoline to propane, it's a simple switch. The infrastructure went in quickly, and with the relationships that have been forged through the grant, the backbone is there to support this technology long term, and we feel like we've made the right choice in reducing the cost of the city taxpayer. But propane is just one of many options the city's looking at in terms of alternative fuels. As new technologies are forged and they become an economic alternative, we're going to be there as soon as we can and do what we got to do to be there. It doesn't make sense to pay more to do any job that could be done at a lesser cost. So we're on top of reducing the cost wherever we can.
A little help can go a long way, whether it's a simple gesture or a significant contribution for the greater good. And sometimes that help can come from some of the most unique places. And in particular, one local corporate business that is not only well known for its delicious, mouth-watering, one-of-a-kind subs, but more importantly, its commitment to the community and its dedication in providing some much-needed equipment to those brave men and women who fight fires and save lives. As Firehouse Subs in the Jefferson Marketplace Shopping Center across from the Newport News Williamsburg International Airport recently invited the Newport News Fire Department inside their store for a very important announcement.
Thanks everybody for cramming in, and a big thanks for everybody for coming to celebrate the donation today. And we're just thrilled to be able to give these thermal imaging cameras back to the Newport News Fire Department. And for those of you who don't know much about our foundation, we were founded in 2005 in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, where Firehouse Subs founders Chris Sorensen and Robin Sorensen traveled after Hurricane Katrina to Burlington, Mississippi to witness the devastation firsthand. And it was then and there that they made a promise and a commitment, and the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation was born. So since then, we've donated more than $3.9 million worth of resources to first responders like yourself in more than 374 different communities. And so a big part of that, a big part of the fundraising comes from our restaurants. About 50% of all the funds we raise come from our generous guests. We sell our pickle buckets for $2 a piece. We have our Roundup program, our canister program, and then throughout the month of October, we sell $1 and $5 medallions. Chief Liebold, do you want to explain the equipment to us now?
Well, on behalf of the city, I want to first thank you for the opportunity to accept these two cameras. The men and women that are here from the fire department understand the true value of this simple looking tool. These two thermal imaging cameras that were donated by the Public Safety Foundation for Firehouse Subs provide our employees with a tool that they can use to more rapidly locate victims in a fire, to find the seat of the fire, to put it out more quickly, to reduce property damage, to reduce the incident of a subsequent fire in the next door property. There's so many advantages to being able to see in the darkness. And that's what this tool does. It allows us to see what is there that we cannot otherwise see. The discretionary money that we have in our budget is what I have to use to determine whether we replace turnout gear, whether we replace furniture in a fire station, whether we buy new hose, whether we need new nozzles. The fact that the Public Safety Foundation was willing to provide us with this support means I've got $15,000 that I can spend on other critical equipment that I would not have to otherwise spend on thermal imaging cameras. So I can't say enough about the support that we're getting from Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation and the fact that they're willing to put their money in the community that supports Firehouse Subs.
It's something we should all do, but for some reason or another, we always find an excuse to try to avoid it. But the fact of the matter is, the City of Newport News offers the perfect place to physically stop and smell the roses. And it's a place that you may pass by each and every day and not quite realize the beauty that awaits. And recently, some new and improved features were put into place that will greatly enhance your overall experience within the comfortable confines of the Newport News Rose Garden in beautiful Huntington Park.
We had been noticing over the last couple of years a lot of deterioration in the fence work and in the arbors, and we've been patching and repairing the best we can. A lot of the materials for, say, the fence, you couldn't even buy that style of fence anymore. We were actually custom making the rails, and every time one was broken, we were making more. So it started prompting us, probably the last couple of years, to start thinking of a better plan for the future. The last big storm we had actually created a little bit more damage to the arbor, and when it was addressed, we started discussing some of the ideas that we've been working on, and I thought it was time, and I asked if we could really go forth with a replacement rather than a repair again. We designed it and drew it in-house, presented our idea to the superintendents and then on up to the assistant directors and directors, and I think it was a great idea in everybody's eyes, and they were already in the process of working on the fence replacement, so it was good timing, I think. Well, right now, we're actually got to take the lattice off carefully because we're trying to not hurt the roses at all. We want to actually put the roses right back to our replacement. We have to dig holes and actually get this structurally safe so it'll withstand the winds that we get down here. So, we're digging down 3 feet, and it's approximately 18 inches. We're running into some old concrete here and there, but it's nothing we can't handle. When we were designing this, we wanted to stay similar to the entrance arbor that we have currently with the actual flow of it. So when we were designing the new arbors on paper, we kept that in mind. We wanted to actually keep this a maintenance-friendly arbor. We're mixing concrete. We're putting in approximately 360 pounds of concrete per post, and you do the math, it's a lot of weight. It's holding it down. It's not going anywhere. So we actually took the time to design it structurally and then wrap it in PVC. There will be no painting. If anything, you might have to pressure wash it or just wipe it off, but it's going to be very maintenance friendly for our department. A project like this is big for the amount of staff we have in our shop. It's something that I was confident that with the talent we have, we were capable of doing this and actually saving a lot of money rather than having to contract it out. In addition to other improvements to the arbor, we're also adding paver walkways from 4 sides to make it a lot more accessible. The grass can be, when it's wet, you can sink. Wheelchairs can't make it. There's a lot of people that come in here. They bring their families in here for weddings. A lot of people come through here just to, look at the roses and smell them. So I think the improvement of, getting these walkways in is very important.
It's an art. It's not so much a science, though. It kind of takes a lot of experience, take a couple of measurements, and over the years you just kind of learn how much materials you need. Start off with the foundation, compact it, get everything leveled out to where the water's going to run off, where you want it to be, and you just figure out what pattern you want and you go with it.
These improvements that we're making, they bring us to the next step in the park's life. These improvements will last 20 plus years that we've made. And no pun intended, it's like an extreme makeover to the park feature that we have here. It's, the fence was a beautiful addition, the walkway, the arbors, I think next year we even have some plans for doing some improvements to the gazebo. If you know where it is, I recommend you come look at it. It is a big eye opener of the improvements that have been made, and you'll enjoy the atmosphere. It's very peaceful, and I think a lot of the citizens and even people that aren't citizens of Newport News would love to come here and enjoy the view.
They ruled the earth for millions of years, large and in charge and simply hard to fathom. And this summer they have returned. Well, not really, but the closest thing to lifelike dinosaurs have, giving you every reason to run, roar, and stomp to the always enjoyable Virginia Living Museum for one fascinating exhibit.
It's dinosaurs! And not just dinosaurs, we have all the Mesozoic mania that you could want. We're in the changing exhibit gallery, and everything is pretty much in the gallery. Kokoro dinosaurs, robotic dinosaurs, and us have palled together for a number of years to bring dinosaurs here. And we just want to make sure that everyone understands that there isn't just a life here now, but there was life in the past, and that past life was really exciting and really interesting and really different. And maybe we can learn about the past by looking at those past animals and seeing how they survived in their environment, and then studying how animals survive in the environment today. There's a play robot. You can press the buttons and see exactly what's underneath the skin of these robots, the metal infrastructure. We've got a little dig pit where you can go in and pretend you're a paleontologist and very gently uncover the fossils just the way that they would out in the field. There's also a rubbing station where you can take home a piece of a skeleton, basically, of a dinosaur, in the sense if you've rubbed it off the plate. So you get to make your own picture. And the albino gator is there, and it's kind of neat. There's a lot of folklore around it. The albinos were only discovered back in '92, the first albinos. It's one of 50 that are alive in the world right now. So this is a special thing where she's really pretty. She's about 4 years old, and she's from the St. Augustine Alligator Farm in St. Augustine, Florida. I think it's great. I look forward to it every couple of years when we do this. I wish we could do this every year. And also Kokoro is a great company to work with because they try and update their animals. They try and bring new animals in each time, and that's what we're trying to do something different each time. We have two marine reptiles, two sea creatures, and we've tried to depict them as if they're underwater. So you get to look through portholes and look at them as if you're looking outside the hull of a ship and you're visiting that time period. You see them swimming by. We also have an air creature that's up above me. Not every saurus was a dinosaurus, so we want people to take away that there were all kinds of reptiles alive during dinosaur time. It's running from now until Labor Day weekend. If you want to see anything about Virginia in one place, we've got flowers and everything in bloom. We've got live animals in their natural habitats. We've got sea creatures, and we've got dinosaurs. I mean, for kids, this is one of the best places to be this summer.
Well, there's no need to whine or make an attempt to dress to the nines, because this time of year gives you the perfect opportunity to swing from vine to vine and sample some of Virginia's finest wines. But there's no need to travel the state or even throw money at the pump, because for the last 11 years, one very special day here in the city of Newport News has been set aside to blend a little history with the fruits of the vine, and best of all, from one location. And in doing so, helping to produce one very popular festival that continues to get better with age on the grounds of historic Lee Hall Mansion.
We're here today at the 11th Annual Wine Festival at Lee Hall Mansion, hosted by the City of Newport News, Lee Hall Mansion, and it's the annual fundraiser for the Virginia War Museum Foundation, which is the foundation nonprofit organization that supports Lee Hall Mansion, Envy Plantation, and the Virginia War Museum throughout the year in our efforts, whether it's in the galleries of the museum, special events like this. This is actually their annual fundraiser. We really have people from throughout the state that come. We have different clubs that we work with, the Virginia Wine Club, Virginia Wine Lovers as well, who come to the site from Northern Virginia, even out west, certainly south side in the local area, 7 cities here around Newport News, that come and really celebrate on this historic site, Lee Hall Mansion. This year in particular, integrating the 150th anniversary of the American Civil War, so they can go through, tour the house, enjoy that. Of course, the 14 wineries that we have on site this time, you can partake of a lot of new wines, some of them particularly with labels to the sesquicentennial of the Civil War. There's actually several new ones, including Horton, that has got some new wines that are out, really celebrating and remembering the American Civil War. So it's a perfect pairing, so to speak, with the wineries coming out at this site, so many of them. And as you go through, you kind of run the gauntlet and can sample so many of the different wines that they have to offer. Again, all Virginia-based, so you're supporting a Virginia-based industry that's actually grown quite a bit in recent years as well.
This is probably one of the greatest afternoon events for the summer. Lee Hall is about 10 minutes from my house. The grounds are beautiful. The entertainment is excellent. And the vendors are fantastic. So why travel to Williamsburg? Even though I don't really mind driving to Williamsburg, but if it's in Newport News, this is where you should be.
We drive up here, we get here before it opens, so we get our spot. It's our favorite spot, everybody knows we get here. This is my favorite wine festival. I get together with all my friends and we have a great time. I think that Virginia has the best wineries in the country, so we always want to support our Virginia wines.
All right, this is Vidal Blanc. We make it semi-sweet because it tastes better that way. I don't know what makes it so unique. We make 16 good wines. We take about 8 of them on the road. And it varies from festival to festival what we'll take. But you look back there and see we don't have any trouble selling it. After 17 or 18 years of doing this, you find out that palates change. Palates are different. And we try to have as much, different wine, many different wines, so we'll appeal to somebody's palate.
Yes, we kind of move things around a little bit. We've got the wineries together as we usually do right around the mansion. The crafters are usually on a horseshoe kind of on the other side of the house in the mansion, but they are actually under a tent this year. They're all together. Actually, the first 500 actually got a nice wine tote with the Wine Festival logo on it for those who actually went in, visited with the crafters, and of course walked away with a lot of fantastic merchandise that they were offering, everything from jewelry to wine-themed items and t-shirts, and also local artwork and photography. So you're not only supporting the Virginia wine industry with the wineries that are here from Virginia, but also local artists as well that come out, whether they're doing photography or some type of a mixed media artwork, or whether they're woodworkers and that sort of thing. You see those crafts as well. Yeah, we got fantastic weather today. Not really much in the way of humidity. It's actually perfect. Not too cold as we've had some weather recently that was. And we're so thankful for the foundation stepping up and hosting this event, for all of the staff. We've got the different city resources and departments that have actually gotten involved in it to really build the event up. And it keeps getting better each year, and we hope that people that are coming back keep telling us it's getting better each year, so that's a great thing, and that's what we want to do, is kind of step the game up each year, have more to offer, more that you can take part in, and then enjoy the local history and drive more traffic into the sites to continue to support local historic preservation.
Well, that's about all the time we have for you this month. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Newport News in Review, as we've taken a step back in time here at historic Lee Hall Mansion. And as always, on behalf of everyone here at Newport News TV, whether you're watching us on TV at Cox Cable Channel 48, Verizon Fios 19, or online at nngov.com, Facebook, or YouTube, thanks for watching. And we'll see you here real soon for the July edition of Newport News in Review right here on Newport News Television.
For more information on Newport News and Review, contact Aaron Pritchett at apritchett@nngov.com.